Hi, welcome to Guitar Image. So we are continuing our soloing series, our soloing idea series, and today we will explore this concept known as octaves. Now, what is an octave? If you remembered your major scale, or if you don't, can find out more in one of our videos that we talk on the major scale. And this is what you end up with. This is how it sounds like. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So if you heard this is actually your major scale. Your first note and the last note, which is your do, do. These two notes are actually an octave apart. So an octave apart refers to the same note, but two different sound. It can be of a lower sound, which is here, or a higher sound. And they are 8 notes apart. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do will give you 8 notes. And therefore you have the word octave, oct referring to 8. So that's why you have that two notes, a low and a higher sound. Same note, so I just played the C major scale. You have the low C and the high C. Same note, but two different sound. So that's the idea of an octave. So what we'll do next is to teach you a shape that you can use for the octave. So most of your octave will come with shapes. This is one that is commonly used. What you can do is to first hold a power chord shape. Your power chord, I'm using the 5th string. So what I do is I hold it this way. Index finger, ring finger, and my pinky. How to get the octave shape? What I do is I remove my ring finger. Okay, I take it off. And then I can use it to replace the pinky. There I will have only 2 fingers. The middle string should be deadened or should be muted. So there shouldn't be any sound or a muted sound. What you can do to get a muted sound, you can use your index finger to rest on the string. If not, this is what you may get. If it's not muted. If it's muted, this is what you get. So your sound in totality should sound like that. You should have do, a muted sound, and a do. Then this is your octave. If you strike it together, this is how it sounds. The low and the high C played together. And so what I will do next is to show you a couple of licks that can demonstrate the use of this octave shape. So very quickly, this is what we will use. I will be using a backing track that uses only 2 chords, the C chord and the D chord. The C chord is made up of C, E, and G, the notes that made it up. And the D chord is made up of D, F sharp, and A. On the C chord, your notes are played this way, or played on these frets. On the 3rd fret, C, E is found on the 7th fret, and G is found on the 10th fret, all the while holding your octave shape. For the D chord, your notes D, F sharp, A are found on the 5th, on the 9th, that's an F sharp, and the 12th. So that's your A note. Let me show you a simple lick that we can use over a backing track. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what you have just seen was a short lick that I used the octave shape for. So what I started off with was the 3rd and the 5th of the C chord. So this is where it is, the octave shape on the 7th fret. That is your E note, and then the 10th fret, this is the G note of the C chord. So I did this, and then when I went on to the D chord, I used the 9th fret, which is an F sharp, also the 3rd of the D chord, and down to the 5th fret, which gives me the 1st of the D chord. Okay, so if I demonstrate again, it goes like that. That's the first part. each of them is played half a bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and half a bar each. And the second part, I repeat for the C chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and this time for the D chord, I use the third again, the F sharp on the 9th fret, and I end off on the 5th of the D chord, which is an A, the 12th. So this is how it sounds like. This time I'll count consistently. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is your first lick using the octave shape or using the notes that make up your chord. Okay, so moving on to our second idea. We will use the same shape and the same idea, but this time with a variation on the rhythm. And then we will also separate the notes out a little bit so that you don't get one that is struck together like this, but one that is this. Okay, so what I mean will be demonstrated through the backing track. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there you have it, the second lick. So again, what I did was the same notes on the same frets. We used the same notes that make up the C and the D chord. But this time what I do was I play the lower notes first before I play the higher octave. So what I did for the first note was 2 times on the bass before I go once on the high. So for ease of speaking, I would just say low, low, high. So what I did is low, low, high. The next one I went to the next note on the 10th fret and I did a low, high. What I also did to make it more clear, to make it clearer, was I did a palm mute. What I do was I rest my palm over the bridge. So this is a more percussive sound. Yeah, instead of. So again, what I did was here, low, low, high, low, high. And then the next 2 notes over D, I did the same thing, low, low, high, low, high. You can also release the palm mute if you like on the higher octave note. If not, it is fine. That both works as well. And then same thing, the next idea, low, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, low, high. So I'll show you once more the full thing. So I did over C, low, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, low, high. And then again, low, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, low, high. So this is the second lick where we break up the notes a little bit. And then coming to our third lick. This is one that is slightly more interesting, that breaks out of the idea already. You still use the same octave shape, but this time you move about a little bit more. Okay, here goes the third lick. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that was the third lick. Sounds very difficult, but actually what I used was all the notes that make up the C major chord and the D major chord. I started from the 3rd fret, my C chord, and then this time I played the higher octave first. I did a high, then the low. So the high, then the low. And I do this consistently for all my notes. So when I go up to the 6th string, I use the same form. This becomes a G note. So here is a G note. Again, I started from C to G, and then I went on to E, which is on the 7th fret, same pattern, and then to the C chord again, but this time on the 8th fret of the 6th string. So I went up, okay, again, over C chord, it looks like that. So what we just played was C, G, E, C. So the first, the fifth, the third, back to the first. Over D chord, exactly the same. Started from the 5th fret, my D note, then the high and the low. I go up one string. That's A. So D, A, the first, the 5th, and then I went on to the 9th fret, F sharp, and then this time up one string, 12th and 10th fret. So over D, this is how it sounds like. Okay, the whole thing goes like this. Okay, so in conclusion, what we explored today was the concept of octaves, and then we have given you 3 ideas for you to explore and play around. I hope this helps you. I'll see you in the next video.